Hey mamas, it's Kristen Noel, founder of the Intuitive Divorce, and I'm popping in here right after class because my heart is literally always bursting. I come out and I am so in awe of the courage and the compassion and the heart and the intuition and the vulnerability and the ability to keep it real that these mamas in this sacred container have. And I just want you to know they are no different than you. They are navigating the messiness of divorce. One week things are going okay, then there's some triggering event, and suddenly they're not. But they continue to show up. And they're showing up for themselves so that they can fill their cup. And that is so critical while you're moving through any life adversity because you need to be standing on solid ground or as solid as you can be. I mean, just think about it. It makes perfect sense. If you're a complete frazzled mess, how are you going to show up for all the stuff that you've got to show up for? And who's going to prop you back up when you wobble, when you get triggered, when you're all up in your emotions? And divorce is going to stir it all up. So it doesn't surprise me. I mean, we're always so excited when we come to class and there's wins to celebrate, but we're also there and available to stand beside a mama who's struggling. And one week, as I said, she may be up and the next she might be down, but she's here and she's ready to unpack it and she's ready to be supported and she's ready to be a little nudged into telling a better story. And what do I mean by that? Well, one mama came to class today and she just really was feeling incredibly overwhelmed and she was feeling really beaten up. And listen, there's truth to that. It's a really tough process and things can make you feel like I just can't handle one more thing. But the bottom line is you don't have a choice. You got to keep going. So you've got to figure out, how am I going to do that? How am I going to keep going? How am I going to show up? And then you pause. And in that pause, you learn to reconnect to your truth, to your intuition, to your heart. And you ask yourself, what is the story that I'm telling myself? Is this story a truthful story? Or is this just an old story, like an old pattern or old limited thinking that when something happens that I'm triggered, pulls me back in? So, for example, with this mama, she has a soon to be ex who's really misbehaving, pushing the limits and triggering her, making her feel very vulnerable, making her feel like, oh my God, it's never going to change. It's just the same old thing. He's going to control everything. Hold on a minute. We just reminded her today and quickly helped her recalibrate. That's the old story. That's not the present day story because, yes, you may be overwhelmed. Yes, you may be triggered. Yes, you may be aggravated or upset or all up in the feels. And you have taken steps. You have taken steps with the court. You've taken steps with your attorney. You've taken steps with your divorce. Now you just have to take another step, which is maybe filing an emergency injunction, staying on your attorney, telling them this is an emergency. So there are things. So it's like when we can like recalibrate and really understand what the story is, what are we repeating, what are we telling, what are we getting sucked back into, and better yet, where do we want to go? It's such an important tool of recalibration to remind you of who you are and what you're capable of. And we had another mama today who was talking, she used this great metaphor about focusing on the target, not on the arrows. And I really loved that and I really resonated with that because clearly when you're going through a divorce, it just feels like incoming missiles from every direction. Now we could focus on that, and that can be the story, and there is truth to it. Yes, this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening. But how do I get through that? You know, one of the best ways to get through that is to figure out what is the target. What is it that I'm going for? What is it that I want more of? And I shared a story today in class of my own journey. And it was a seemingly, I don't know, just sort of mundane experience. And this is many years ago when my son was just a little boy, and I was all up in the throes of my divorce. And it was messy, and I was really scared, and I was spending a lot of time in anxiety and waking up in the middle of the night, and all I saw was arrows. And it, of course, also made me believe that, like, everywhere I looked, everyone was in perfect marriages and everybody was happy, and I just had bad luck of the draw. That was the story I was telling myself. And it was just a place where more of my energy was depleted because really none of that mattered. What mattered was what I was telling myself. So I bring you back to this one moment, this one pivotal moment in my journey where I spent an afternoon visiting a friend up in the country, in the mountains, and I had my little boy with me, and we were sitting by a stream, and he was giggling, and he was playing with the water, and he was dangling his little city toes into the stream. And we were sitting on the hot rocks, and I remember this day in detail. And it was just a glorious summer afternoon, and I could feel my entire body exhale. And I could feel like, oh my God, I'm actually like, this is a good day. I'm having fun. I'm laughing with my baby. I'm allowed to be alive during divorce. I'm allowed to have really beautiful present moments. And it was like, as I had an outer body experience, as I was watching my little boy play, I really recognized right away, I want more of this. Yes, right here in the middle of the divorce, I want more of this. I am allowed to put the divorce off on the side over here and have a weekend and play with my kids and fill my cup. And it was in that moment I realized I have to do something differently. I have to learn to find ways. I didn't even know the term nervous system regulation. I didn't understand the mind, body, spirit connection. There was a lot that I had to learn, but I learned it because I knew sitting on that stream side that sunny afternoon that I wanted to be alive. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to be a good mom. I wanted to be a fun friend. And I'm going to tell you a little fun story, just skipping, 2 decades ahead. I live in that little town now, and that little stream is in my backyard. So we are planting seeds and writing a new story, even here in the mess of divorce, when everything is coming apart, everything feels all over the place, everything feels like you just want to run and hide under the covers. I just want you to know that you're not alone. You're not the only one suffering. There are so many ways to be supported in this journey so that you can get back on your feet, so that you can divorce smarter, heal faster, protect your kids, reclaim your life, come alive again. So I just share that story with you today, that silly little story of a little boy who's now 25 years old and thriving. And I just want you to know that you are capable of that. You have access to that. You are writing your story now. So don't get stuck into an old story. And I just want to leave you with that today. And I want you to know that we are here to help you in any way, to guide you, to be your guardrails, to give you a hug and an energetic kick in the ass because I know you want more. And there is a better path to a better divorce. It's an intuitive divorce. So if you aren't already, please check us out at intuitivedivorce.com. Get on our newsletter, follow our app, Intuitive Divorce, get on our social media. We're constantly putting out content and information and strategies and tools to help you navigate this messiness. So I'll just leave you with that. And I look forward to talking to you.